Everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is with one of my other partners here, my boy Johnny. Well, I've already done videos with Tony and Cherry and how I keep forgetting. I just told her name right now. That's my Cynthia. Cynthia is another one we did videos about the cancer, different forms of cancer, and so my boy Johnny here, he also has another form of cancer that all of us that have done videos together don't have. And so, but before I get into all that, you know, we've been friends for about I started writing in 2016 when I started writing. So I met you around 2017. Mm-hmm. I can't remember where I met you at.
We used to cross paths a few different places.
Yeah. But where did you grow up at?
I grew up in San Bernardino.
Oh, you were from the neighborhood right there?
Yeah, born and raised in San Bernardino.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I for some reason I always thought you were from LA. I didn't know. I knew you lived in San Bernardino, but I didn't know that you grew up right there in San Bernardino.
Yeah.
But so when did you find out about your diagnosis, and how did you find out about the diagnosis? How long has it been already?
It's been since May of 2021. I found out. I was a truck driver for FedEx, and I felt something uncomfortable I was sitting on, so I went to the doctor, and they did x-rays, and bone growth had showed up, like about 5 inches big, round, and biopsy came back positive, cancer.
And that was how long ago?
21, May.
21?
Yeah.
And so, because I remember the last time I saw you, well, not the last time I saw you, but I saw you, maybe it was like a year ago we saw it at the show.
Tony's
thing in LA. I saw you, and I had talked to you, and then you told me that you had stopped doing the chemo.
Yeah.
And what was the reason why you had stopped doing it?
You know, there comes a point when, you start getting a bunch of side effects for one, and a lot of them are irreversible. So I kind of took it upon myself after about a year and a half of chemo to, you know what, my numbers are all right. Why am I still doing chemo? So I just kind of stopped and, told my doctor, hey, my numbers are good. And he's like, yeah, they're leveled out. Okay, I'm going to stop. So I stopped doing it. And I just, that was say in February of 22 and 23. And then a year later, February that just passed, I started feeling bad again, weak, tired, and in pain. And sure enough, I did lab work, and it came back this February, which was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, so I've been doing it for over a year now, and I still really don't understand it. Now, when you're seeing your numbers, what numbers are you talking about?
Your lab work, which most of the time, in my case, everybody's different. In my case, when you're doing active chemo treatments, every week you go do lab work,
mm-hmm.
Blood work. And they check your creatine numbers, and, they do a whole panel of different, all your different labs.
Yeah.
And once those numbers start changing, your blood cell count and stuff like that, I'm not really too. A lot of people get deep into it and, go online and look what everything means. I don't really do all that. I just figured my numbers aren't where they're supposed to be. It's bad. So that's what happened. So it was I ended up getting a tumor on the inside of my jaw recently. Went to the dentist because I had dentist work done. I thought maybe it was something from them. I went to them, and they were like, with your history of your health history, you need to go see your chemo doctor. So I went and seen him, and he already knew. Then I did lab work pretty much the same week, and it came back. So that it was a positive, tumor in my mouth. They did a PET scan, and in the PET scan, it's the dark blotches that show active cancer. Mm-hmm. So I have dark blotches here on my spine and 2 different places on my left leg. So that all came from the PET scan on top of lab work.
Yeah.
So after the PET scan, which happened in days, usually it's 2 months wait.
Yeah.
This is real aggressive. My doctor knew it. So within a couple of days, there's your PET scan. Came back, showed all the results. I started chemo like a couple days later, and I think I'm about 4 weeks into it now.
So why? I have a question. Why you stopped doing chemo because of the side effects,
That,
right?
for one.
And then
Okay, well, what were your side effects?
My side effects from chemo, I have permanent side effect damage, which would be neuropathy in both my feet. I never had neuropathy before. I was diabetic since 2008. I just took metformin, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you start chemo, you start steroids, or at least I do.
Mm-hmm.
The steroids raise your blood sugar out of control. Well, I was doing chemo for a year and a half. That included steroids. So my sugar was just going out of control. Even they put me on insulin as well. But it's nerve damage from your sugars being out of control. So I got permanent neuropathy.
what do you feel?
Oh man, it's a neuropathy is a nightmare because your feet are numb all day, and it's not a good numb, like a numb where it takes the pain away. It's a numb that makes pain. You could feel needles. It feels like needles, knives getting stuck in your feet. You could be asleep at night, and all of a sudden, wham! I'll wake up. I mean, it just hurts.
Is it for people who've never had cancer, never had neuropathy? Is it the feeling of like when your foot falls asleep and that kind of when it's starting to come back, you know, that numb feeling and the pins and needles type of feeling? But maybe the pain's a little worse than that. But
it's that times 20, 30,
Yeah.
40. Oh yeah, it's really intense. Because yeah, it is. That's a perfect way to describe it. When your foot falls asleep, but times 100. You know, and it's with you 24 hours a day.
And that medication they gave me for that shit, what is it called?
Gabapentin.
Okay, that shit don't help me.
No.
But they gave me morphine recently, and that it's okay. It helps, but I was thinking Percocets that worked better for me. Percocets than the morphine. Morphine, I fucked up one day. I took 2 morphines and shit, and I was high for a fucking day and a half.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it's just I have that feeling in my feet right now. That's how my feet feel every single day. And after a while, it seems like I get used to the feeling. Like I don't think about it no more. But once I get off my feet and I lay down or I sit down, then I really start to notice the feeling in my feet. I know it's there all day, but it's just when I stop moving around is when I really start to feel it. Or when I'm laying in bed at night, I feel I can't sleep comfortable at night. You know, I don't get a good night's sleep. Like I tell people, man, I don't know what it feels like to be normal anymore.
No.
I don't sleep well unless I take a bunch of fucking pills in order to knock myself out and to sleep well. I do not sleep well every night. Like I don't know what it feels like to have a good night's sleep. I don't know what it feels like to be fucking normal anymore. To have a to feel like the way I used to feel, because I'm so always there's something always wrong. You know what I mean? Like so. You know, you're going through that. You have neuropathy. I had neuropathy. The one I don't know if you had it, but where you couldn't eat nothing or drink nothing cold.
No, I didn't get that.
Oh, that's fucking terrible. You put something in your mouth cold, you have to spit it out right away because it felt like you had a dry ice in your mouth.
No.
I could not put my hands in the refrigerator or touch anything cold or put my hands in the. If I put my hands in the freezer, I'd pull it out real quick because it would hurt so bad.
That was immediately after chemo, though.
Yeah.
And it would last 24 to 48 hours.
Yes, I would be like that, where I couldn't touch nothing. The neuropathy stayed, but there was other things that I had that would not go away. Like they would go up after like that was it. You couldn't eat nothing. But right now, my thing is I can't really taste.
Your taste buds are gone.
They're fucked up. Sometimes, like right after chemo for a few days, everything tastes bland. Like I can't taste salt, and it tastes like shit. I don't want to eat nothing. I eat, but I'm forcing myself to eat, but it tastes like nothing to me. I can't taste salt.
I went through that one in particular, not the coldness one. I'm surprised, but all these are, to me, they sound like a side effect from chemo. And the thing that you do have to worry about is that it becomes permanent. You know, because that's what happens. And I've tried. I went through 4. No, actually, I'm on number 6 different types of chemotherapy because there comes a point where if you start having these bad reactions, you don't want them to be permanent. So that's when you tell your doctor, your oncology doctor, like, hey, this ain't working out for me. I got these side effects. And then most of the time they'll prescribe you a different kind of chemo, you know, because that means it's not agreeing with you. I mean, it's kind of, you're either way, you and them are both rolling the dice when it comes to chemo because you don't know how your body's reacting. You got to look out for yourself. I found that out. You got to look out for yourself. The minute you get a reaction, let your doctor know so that way, like you said, you don't get a permanent side effect from chemo that's going to affect you the rest of your life. I did chemo for so long, the first round, about a year and a half. I have 3 bulging discs, which is a side effect from chemo. I never had back problems before. I have 3 bulging discs from it. My oncology doctor and a couple other doctors wouldn't admit that it was a side effect from chemo. The anesthesiologist that gave me a shot in my spine to help relieve the pain, he's the one that finally admitted it. But I already knew what it was from other patients.
Okay,
so
what form of cancer do you have?
I got multiple myeloma bone cancer. For some reason, they don't like to hear, I tell them bone cancer, and they're like, oh, it's multiple myeloma. Well, it's in my bones.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, bone cancer. Like, I guess that's just too plain of a name for it.
Oh.
They got their doctor words for
Yeah,
it.
because I had, mine is esophageal cancer, but when I had, it was already touched my liver, because mine is, what stage were you?
There's no stage in mine.
Oh, okay. So see, that's another thing I don't know about your form of cancer.
Right.
I have I'm a stage 4. I was diagnosed with stage 4 because it already was in my bloodstream. So I had
It had spread
already to my liver and my stomach, my esophagus, and then after the first chemotherapy they gave me, and I went back for another scan, my liver was fine, which is a good thing because you don't want to fuck your liver up.
Yeah.
But then comes feeling right here, and she feels right here in between my collarbone, and she's like, yeah, she goes, feel right there, can you feel that? And I touched her, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know there was a ball about that big in there. And she said, it spread up here.
Is that a tumor?
Yeah, she goes,
it was a lymph node that had gotten
Swollen lymph node.
it had attacked some parts of his lymph nodes. But during chemotherapy, that lymph node that was being attacked right here actually got infected, and it grew to the size of a softball.
Yeah,
he couldn't even move his shoulder anymore. He had a fever. I told him, you need to go see the doctor because you could get sick and die from this.
Yeah,
so
it spread up here.
They put him on antibiotics right away.
Yeah, they did all that shit. So then, then we did another scan. So I think my third scan is when they said, okay, your stomach is still active. Like it's not working.
The lymph nodes outside the stomach still showed active cancer cells. So his second scan showed that the treatments, he's on chemotherapy and immunotherapy, and it was working. But by the third scan showed that the lymph nodes that were being attacked on the outside, when before they were showing it was working, showed it lit up. So it was being attacked again by the cancer cells. Cancer cells are really, really smart.
I found out that they literally, and I'm pretty sure you guys heard it, once you start treatment, cancer gets pissed off.
They hide.
And it'll spread.
It spreads.
I started, for mine, it was radiation was the first thing they did. They targeted my hip area where they first spotted it. And after 25 treatments, it spread to my chest plate. I was like, damn, I guess it's true. It got pissed off, and it spread. Then I started chemo, and then it left my chest and just still stayed in my hip area. But,
for me, it's been in my esophagus, my stomach, my liver, my shoulder. You know what I mean? It just they're chasing the shit now.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. She's like, that's pretty much what she said. She's like, we're just chasing it now. You know what I mean? So, but like, and I asked her like, how long can I do this shit for? And she's like, it depends on your body.
Yeah.
If the cancer's gonna kill you faster than, if the chemo is gonna kill you faster than the cancer, well then we'll stop doing the chemo. Because what's the purpose of you doing chemo when it's killing you now? Because that's all it is. It's the fucking poison. They're killing you. You know what I mean? They're killing your cells. You know what I mean? So it's like, she's like, why continue to do chemo if it's gonna kill you faster than the cancer?
Yeah.
So that's when we stop doing it. So how many rounds have you already done? Do you know the number of rounds?
You know what? That's another thing, Mike. I've talked to several other patients like you. You try to find out information, and plus you have a bond, like nothing else, because you're all fighting cancer. You've been there and done that. So you get a lot of info from other people, and a lot of people know what types of chemo they're taking, know every prescription, know how many treatments they've taken. I ain't got a clue on none of this shit. I couldn't name one chemo name that I've taken. I know I'm on number 6 now. So, so I don't like to think too hard on it. You know, I
don't know the names of them. I know that I'm going, this Tuesday coming up will be the 30th round that I go through of chemo. I don't know the names of them. I've been through 3 different ones. And Tuesday will be 30. And then I know after this round I go through, I'll do another scan. They're going to do another scan and find out what's going on. You know what I mean? But and then I'll know what the hell's gonna happen after that. You know
what the game plan is.
What her game plan. I just tell her, hey, you do what you do. I don't know shit about it. You know what I mean? You're the doctor, so whatever you say, that's what I'm gonna do. I can't. if that's what you feel, and because it's her, and she comes in with another laptop. She'll set the laptop down, but the screen's black, and she'll open it up just like this, and she'll set it on the counter, facing me, and she's talking to me. So I know there's somebody else watching, or she's videoing. I don't know what the hell fuck she's doing, but the screen's off. But she opens it up, and so I don't know if it's her and some other doctors are watching, because my shit was sent to UCLA. When I first got it, it was sent to UCLA. Is doctors USC or UCLA?
Yeah, to see if you were a candidate for immunotherapy, and you have to be a candidate for immunotherapy.
So I go through the immunotherapy.
The biopsy results were sent to UCLA.
But so now she does that. I mean, she's been doing that. She opens the laptop up and she puts it there. The screen's blank. I know that it's either she's filming it or somebody else is there watching it. But she's an older Indian lady, and so I say, hey, you're the doctor. I don't know nothing about this shit. You just tell me what I gotta do and I'll do it. You know what I mean? But like with this chemotherapy for me right now, it's not bad. What they're doing to me right now is not bad. I'm not getting neuropathy. The whole thing about not being able to taste food sucks. For a couple weeks, it sucks. But the neuropathy has started from the very beginning when I first started doing it. So I don't know what's gonna happen the next time. I already know that there's more to it. You know what I mean? This is not the end of it. I know that when she do the scan, it's not the end of it, because I already had told her. I told her about 7 months ago. I said, look, just be honest. Be honest. I don't want bullshit. Just like, what's the purpose of the whole fucking chemo thing with me? Because my cancer is rare. It's only like, I think that it's like the 5th rarest cancer in the world, which is in your esophagus. And so I said, just be honest. What's the whole thing you're doing with me here? And she's like, well, we're just trying to postpone, or what? Not postpone. What do they call it? Babe, prolong. She's like, we're just trying to prolong your life. That's all we're doing.
Yeah. That's all they can do.
Yeah, that's all we're doing is prolonging your life. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, that's fine. As long as you ain't telling me like, oh yeah, we're gonna kill this shit and all this and this and that.
Promise you a miracle.
Yeah,
that ain't gonna happen.
She's like, we're just prolonging your life. That's it. I said, okay, that's fine. We'll continue to do it until I can't do it no more. Where you guys say, okay, you can't do it no more. And so when I start hearing that shit, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna fucking turn into a vegetarian.
No.
I'm not gonna stop drinking beer and having a good time.
Nope.
I'm gonna continue to do things that I want to do, hang out with my friends and all that shit like that. And some people don't understand that shit. And that, I think, with you, that's why I think it's a little different with you than it is with Tony and Cherry and everybody else. I mean, they still do their thing. You know what I mean? But I have a different mindset on how I view this whole thing. And my mindset is, I don't give a fuck. That's the way I feel. I don't care. I'm comfortable with dying. I already know that no matter what I do, whether I can beat the cancer or I don't beat the cancer, I'm still gonna die no matter what.
Yeah.
So why am I gonna stop doing what I'm doing? And when you were here last weekend, I had another friend here from work, and I saw him yesterday at work, and he was telling me, he says, because when I told him about the little thing we had here the other day, last weekend, I told him, hey, come down. So he's gonna come down. He said, what do you need? I said, don't worry about nothing. I take care of everything. He's like, no, fuck that. Let me give you money. What do you need? I said, you don't have to bring me nothing. It's all good. I took care of it. Okay, you want something to drink? I said, bring me some beer. Bring me some Blue Moon beer. I'm happy.
Here's the guy that showed up with the 12 packs of Blue Moon.
No.
Okay.
They all know like it. Okay. But he shows up and he's like, I didn't bring the fucking beer, bro, because this and that. That's no problem. I have a lot of beer. So when I saw him yesterday at work, he was like, hey bro, I just want to tell you that I apologize, man. I said, for what? He says, I didn't bring them to drink and shit, and I know you wanted me to bring this, and I didn't bring it to you. He goes, but I'm just trying to be a friend to you. And he goes, I didn't want to bring that to you because I don't know what's really going on. You know what I mean? I know what you're going through and all that shit. I said, oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. And he goes, but no. He goes, the thing was, after I got home, he goes, I thought about it. He goes, I was talking to my wife, and I thought about it, and I said, if I was in his situation, I would be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck am I going to stop doing what I'm doing?
Some people change their diets and, oh my God, I better not leave the house. I might get sick because my immune system's weak.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to die in my house sitting there miserable watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I noticed about you. It's like, Johnny is fucking out riding his bike.
Oh yeah.
And he has cancer and he's out riding his fucking bike and shit. He's all over the fucking place.
I'm riding to Arizona in a couple of weeks. I'm going to Cave Creek.
Yeah, so I'm just like, this guy, he's like, and he has, like I said, you have more of the attitude, toward this whole thing like me, like, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna just lay here and fucking die and sit in my house and turn to a vegetarian.
You know, one thing, Mike, I'll tell you this, I've had people tell me like, man, not everybody, but a lot of people like, man, you're so positive. You don't even have an attitude like you have cancer. And I'll tell them like, well, what attitude am I supposed to have? Am I supposed to be sitting at home crying about it? Because that's not going to fix it. I mean, there's times, don't get me wrong, I'm only human. Mm-hmm. I'm only a man. There's times, hey, I get inside my own head. I'm at home. My wife's at work. I don't have, I was at my job 15 years. That's not happening anymore. So, hey, I'm only human. Sometimes it'll get at me. But, I can't just let that dictate. I'm not going to let this disease dictate on what I'm going to do and how I'm going to live the rest of my life. I know my days aren't as long as they would have been before I got this, but so I'm going to do the best I can while I can. Physically, people see me, Mike, and they're like, man, you don't even look like you're sick.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, thank you for telling me that. Because, I eat, I have a different kind of cancer.
Yeah.
There's people that lose their hair, people who lose weight, people this and that. I go up and down a little bit on weight, but pretty much I look like I'm fine, other than the limp, but, and it's good for me and me getting out there and having good friends and a support system, people text me or call me. That means the world to me. Yeah. Probably like you, don't be annoying with it, but hey, how you doing today, brother? What you got going on? That's all I need. And that's inspiration for me just to, there's people that care.
You know Jesse, right? Jesse and Christine. Jesse that lives up the hill. Jesse Gutierrez, he lives up the hill. He's been around, but same thing with him. He texted me actually last night. I was asleep, and he texted me last night. I woke up this morning with a long ass text message. You know what I mean? He's just like, hey bro, I just want to tell you that I apologize, man. I have not seen you, I haven't talked to you, I have not fucking been to your house. I say, man, I understand. Don't worry about it, man. We all our lives continue to go on. I don't expect you to anybody to stop their life and be begging me constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I first got diagnosed with cancer, man, there was so many people hitting me up. You know what I mean? But that shit starts to die out after a while. You know what I mean? Everybody's life
it goes
on.
away. Yeah.
Everybody's life will go on, and I understand that. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't take, I have no hard feelings for anybody like that. You know what I mean? It's like, don't worry about it, man. And so, but yeah, like you said, when people hit you up here and there, I enjoy when they hit me up here and there. You don't have to hit me up every single day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I tell people like, don't treat me like I'm dead.
Yeah.
Because some people will treat you like you're fucking dead. It's like, I'm not dead, man. You know what I mean? I'm still here right here. You can come to my house. You want to hang out? Come to my house. You want to drink a beer? Come to my house. I'm not dead. You know what I mean? And that's one thing for me that's kind of like, that'll annoy me is when people treat me that way, like I'm already dead.
Don't count me out yet.
Yeah, don't count me out yet. You know what I mean? Give me some tissue.
Hey, don't tell me, hey Mike, so are you going to sell your bike?
Oh, yeah.
I had one fucker hit me up, dog. He told me, he was like, hey, so are you going to sell your bike? I looked at him like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, really? Like, yeah, man. As a matter of fact, you'd be the last one to fucking get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Like you said, man, I mean, I think a phone call, a text, hey, how you doing, brother? This and that. That's all I need. I'm good with that.
Yeah, and you don't have to do it every day, you know what I mean? But it's just like, when you do it here and there, it is, I enjoy it when people do it, you know what I mean? But, that just shows that you don't forget about me. And that's the reason why I opened the garage to everybody. And I did all this shit so people can come over and hang out. You know what I mean? We can hang out together and shit like that. Because, like I said, it doesn't matter with the cancer or not. We're all going to end up at the same thing anyway. We're all going to die no matter what. So I'm not afraid of that shit. And I think other people are afraid of it. They're afraid of dying. And I don't know why. And me, I'm not. I'm living my life the way that I want to live it. I seen, like, after I talked to you last time, you were like, you're living your life the way you want to live it. I know when I talked to you that other time over at that show, you were like, I'm not doing the chemo no more. And I'm like, well, fuck, man, what the fuck's going on with Johnny? You know?
Yeah.
But I guess, after a while, you get tired of it.
Well, as you're newer to this, let's call it the journey that it is, you start finding out more information that I kind of felt like you become a customer more than a patient to your doctor care team. And that's another thing you got to be careful of, and don't be afraid to get a second opinion. I've been with the same hematology doctor since this all started, and he's a younger doctor, and he's done, if I ask for anything extra, he takes care of it. He'll get it handled to whatever till I'm satisfied, which is cool, but I'm not afraid to go get a second opinion. If I don't feel he's doing something right or is not going to do something I ask of him, it's your prerogative as a patient. Hey, you know what? I have Kaiser. Hey, I want a different doctor. I want a second opinion. Because you do end up becoming, like I said, the chemo, I think they went too long on it. One thing I do regret, I know I did it like a year and a half straight. Had I stopped maybe 3 months before I stopped, I probably wouldn't have the 3 bulging discs. The bulging disc, I literally, I think it was this month, I had an appointment with orthopedics to get back surgery. That was the goal. Let me get my back right, and then hopefully I could start walking right, pain pills, cut them in half because my back ain't gonna hurt. I had big hopes on that. Well, once the cancer came back, all that shit got pushed to the back. My doctor's like, hey, don't even worry about that. You need chemo immediately.
Yeah.
So, I just wish I would have stopped chemo. Like I said, I don't know what the time frame would have been, maybe 3 months earlier. I should have stopped it before that. I didn't know, nobody knew, but I got 3 bulging discs. And it sucks, man, because, that's what makes me walk with a cane, and, it hurts so bad,
No, the thing is with you is that, he's telling you all the shit that he's going through, yet he's still out there riding his fucking horse. You know what I mean? He's got his fucking cane with him. You know what I mean? It's like, he's still out there doing his thing. You know what I mean? That's the way I feel. Like, I'm gonna still do my thing. Tony's still doing his thing. Cherry, they're still doing their thing. They have a different view on stuff like that. I'm not religious, so I don't look at the religious part of everything. I just live my life the way that I want to live it, and I'm gonna continue to do that kind of shit. Now, so you got Kaiser, but so you obviously have to have Kaiser through your wife. You're not. You said your job let you go.
Yeah, just it sucked because what was it? The second week of February, the same week I found out that it came back and started treatment, was the same week I got a letter from FedEx home office that was an administrative separation. So because I've been off work, almost 3 years, and I guess they can only hold your position for so long, and it kind of wasn't, it's just, FedEx is a $1 billion corporation. They kept me on almost 3 years, and, I have my seniority and everything. I've been there 15 years, and there was a hard pill to swallow that, that was my career. That's what I did, LTL, local delivery, liftgate, driving a diesel for them. My son's there, and, it's just, I thought I was going to live out the rest of my life there at FedEx. And, like I said, the same week, man, I got my basically termination letter and found out I had cancer again the same week. So, there's really nothing you could do about it. Some people say there's the American Disability Act that protects your job. Well, it doesn't. And the job isn't, no company is obligated to keep you. I called around and found out, 12 months is a good run once you go off, even with cancer. If you're gone 12 months and they keep your job for you, that's stretching it. So FedEx gave me almost 3 years.
Yeah, because with me, with my shit, I'm union, so it's a little bit different because the union will try to fight for you. You know what I mean? But with my shit, the company paid my benefits for 3 months, then the union picked it up and paid for another almost 3 months, like 2.5 months. But one day I went to go to the doctor, and they told me that I couldn't get chemo, and I was like, well, why? They said because your company is not paying no more.
Oh shit.
They cut your insurance, so they cut me, and that was it. And all they said was good luck. And so I called the union. Hey, what the fuck's going on, man? What's going on with my benefits? Oh, well, we don't have to pay for 3 months. So, it's the same thing. They told me the same thing. Good luck, And so, lucky for me, my wife's company, her boss, the owner of the company said, no, fuck that. Put her and him on our insurance. And so the company put me on their insurance, and I didn't have insurance for 3 days. And I went back to the doctor with a new insurance because of her company. They will cut you off quick as fuck.
That's a blessing, yeah.
You know what I mean? These companies will cut you off quick, and the thing is, like, you've been at your company for years. You know what I mean? That's a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm not saying anything bad about FedEx. I mean, they gotta do what they gotta do and shit. You know what I mean? But the thing sucks is that you're not some guy with a broken hip or some bullshit. You got cancer, and it's like, oh well, hey, we did it for as long as we could. Sorry. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen now? I mean, how you got insurance for your wife?
Yeah. She's in the transit union, and luckily, we have Kaiser through her. We at one point had Kaiser through FedEx, and that was 80-20. We would be paying 20% of it. I know I'm running up almost $2 million in treatment now. Because Kaiser sends an itemized bill of what's been paid. And it's after 3 years, it's running up to about $2 million. So, because at one point, the chemotherapy shot that I was doing in place of the IV drip, it was a shot. That was $10,000 a shot once a week. So that's $40,000 a month.
It's ridiculous, man.
So yeah,
Yeah, it's a
pharmaceuticals.
It's a fucking racket, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I was off my pain medication for what, almost 2 months. I couldn't get pain medication. These motherfuckers they sent a prescription to the CVS, like, we can't get that. We're short. We're out of stock. Yeah. Okay, so they were giving me Percocet, Norcos,
whatever they had available.
Whatever they had. I got some oxycodone from a fucking friend of mine. Like, I need to take something. I'm in pain. Yeah. The doctor gave me fucking codeine. I'm like, what do you want to do with that? You got me on fucking Percocets and all this other shit, and you're gonna give me codeine? I gotta take like 5 of those fucking things. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, that's nothing. That's like Tylenol. And that's all they can get. So finally they gave me morphine again. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll take it. But, I gotta deal with what I gotta deal with, But, it's all a fucking gamble, bro.
Well, the pain meds, the opioids, there's a shortage, and the reason why there's a shortage, because the doctors prescribe so much of it for anything. You can go to the doctor and say, hey, I got constant migraine. Okay, here's some oxys. And they love doing that because the major pharmaceutical companies, I'm not into big on politics with these guys, but I know what it is because I've had to chase my pills. With Kaiser, if I go to the San Bernardino pharmacy, oh, we don't have it. Let's check Fontana. Oh, we don't have it. Let's check Redlands. They got it. Hurry up. Go down there and get it because it might be gone. But that's how much those are in need where they're prescribing them. So there is a shortage.
Yeah, they told me one day, it's like, I went to go get it from CVS, like, we can't get there here. Okay, where can I get it at? They looked up, like, it's like 20 miles away. If you want, we can put it on hold, you can go get it. I'm like, I'm not driving 20 fucking miles. Yeah. And they're like, well, it's at this store, it's 20 miles away. I'm like, fuck, man. So, finally, like I said, I got some morphine not too long ago and shit, but I don't like it, but it is what it is.
No, if you're in pain, man, you gotta take what's gonna help you.
Yeah, people don't seem to understand the fucking pain that you go through and shit, and because I don't bitch about it. Yeah. I don't even think that she really understands the pain that I have to go through, because I don't sit there and bitch about the fucking pain. And that's another thing that's before we end the video is like, your wife, how does she deal with it? How do you know how she's dealing? Because she's not here to tell her side of how she's dealing with the whole situation. But how does she deal with it? You know, she just goes on with your plan, like she does. That's what to me she does.
Well, you know, I've told her before and told other people in similar positions. I don't see how anybody that doesn't have a spouse, a girlfriend, a husband, wife would deal with this kind of situation without a better half. Because if you're by yourself, if you're single and you don't have that support, you know, a husband or a wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, mm-hmm. I mean, I would be lost without my wife. Yeah. I mean, my wife is like there for me. I don't let her know all the time because, you know, you just can't. Yeah. But no, I'm appreciative that she's there. I might not show it to her all the time, but I thank God she's there for me, and she's going through it. You know, it's, you know, not the physical part, but the mental part. For sure, the mental part, man, because, you know, and then, like, I tell her sometimes, like, you know, I apologize, I feel bad for you, because this ain't who you married 30 years ago. You know, we've been together like 30 years, Mike. And it's like, man, you know, this ain't the way it was supposed to end up, where, you know, we can't live our best lives like we were a couple years ago before this happened. Yeah. You know, so, you know, she's going through it, man, and she's a strong woman and a good woman, and she deserves the best.
Yeah, that's the thing right now. Like when it comes to Tony, you know what I mean? Like me and Tony would have a conversation. Tony's single. You know? Tony's alone. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's like, you know, I'm dealing with this shit by myself. You know, it's like that's gotta be hard. When you live alone, you have nobody in your home with you, and you're doing this shit by yourself. You know what I mean? So I look at him like, yeah, you're a pretty strong dude if you can deal with this shit by yourself. Because you know what, man, that's gotta be a hard thing. At least I have somebody to deal with it with. Yeah. You have somebody. I don't even think Cherry has anybody she's in a relationship with, but she's dealing with. She's doing the shit on her own. So that's gotta be a hard fucking thing. Yeah. To be able to have to be by yourself and this shit, because you know what? If you're by yourself, it'll start going through your fucking mind. It'll fuck with you and stuff like that. And I keep telling people in these videos, the cancer thing is a fucking mind game. Mm-hmm. It's a mind game, man. Don't let it break your mind down. You know what I mean? You gotta be strong in the mind in order to deal with this bullshit. And some people, they can't deal with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they end up killing themselves. Depression. They get to go through depression. I have not had that feeling of depression. You know what I mean? You said when you're by yourself, something you deal with it. Like, yeah, everybody does, but to be alone constantly and deal with it, that's gotta be a hard fucking thing for Tony and Cherry and anybody else that has to deal with it by themselves. So I feel bad for them having to deal with that kind of shit, because I don't have to deal with that. I have somebody here. Yeah. You have somebody here with you. You know what I mean? It's helping you deal with the bullshit. You know what I mean? But for them, it's gotta be really fucking hard. So, but anyways, yeah, I just wanted to, you know, do the video with you, so, you know, because like I said, you have a different form of cancer than we all, everybody, me, you, Cherry, Cynthia, why I keep forgetting your fucking name? Jesus Christ. Sorry about the J. But anyways, we all have different forms of cancer, you know what I mean? And my whole thing when I do the videos about the cancer situation, like, I know on my part, I think I know when I got it. I don't think that you could have knew when you had got it. I think I knew when I got it when I started my job at Altadena and I went to go take a piss test.
No, that is when you were showing symptoms of it. Yes. But cancer cells can live in your body with no symptoms for a long time.
But don't they say everybody's born with them? So it's just the fact that they
get active. The fucking problem is that, like, okay, like, say
you can be years with this not showing any symptoms.
But say for instance, I beat this esophageal cancer. Okay, say I beat it. I could be just like Cherry, or like one of my friends. I won't mention his name, but his mom passed away about a month and a half ago after like 10, 11 years of dealing with it. But she had different forms of fucking cancer. There's a lady where I go do cancer. She's had cancer for over 10 years, and she's had 4 different kinds of cancer. Yeah. She beats one, and then a year later, boom, she gets another. And then boom, a year later, she gets another. It just keeps coming and keeps coming. And so it's like, yeah, I might be able to beat this shit, but then a year or 2 later afterwards, I'll get some cancer somewhere else. That's the way it works. Once you have it in your system, it's going to be hard to really get over it. I mean, who the fuck do you know that has actually really gotten over it?
Yeah.
Most people I know that have had it have
comes
gotten
back.
it again.
Yeah.
Somewhere else. Just like, you.
They told me a year to maybe 5 years, it's going to come back. Because mine is uncurable. There's no cure for it.
Okay.
So they always just told me, after your numbers level out, as I say, you're looking at a year, possibly 5 years of remission. But remission technically isn't after 5 years cancer free. So a year to 5 years without no treatments, without it coming back. Well, I only got a year almost to the day from February to February, which sucks because I was shooting for the 5 years, obviously.
Yeah.
So the plan is, though, after this time around is, oops, I think I hit something.
Oh, sorry.
Is City of Hope, which was supposed to happen last time, but it kind of just wasn't meant to happen at that time. I wasn't really for it. I'm probably for it now because City of Hope is going to remove my bone marrow stem cells, rejuvenate it. Well, that's out of my body, and then fire their heavy-duty chemo into my body in a 4-week period. I stay there on site in their bungalows for 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, it's so harsh that the first week you're going to feel like you're going to die, and you'll be eating out of a tube because you won't be eating any kind of food. And then the doctor told me even after the 4 weeks, you'll be going to physical therapy. I'm like, physical therapy? He goes, yeah, because your body's going to be all jacked up. You're going to need walking and all this and that. So I guess it's pretty bad, but it's that strong where it is going to give me that length of time.
Are they going to give you a donor?
No, I'll be using my own, which is better because it's less chance of infection or it not taking. So I did do a little research on that.
I know somebody who.
But that's because
I talked to a patient that went through that.
But that's because your form of cancer. That's the
phone. My phone.
Yeah.
My form.
Yeah.
I don't need a matching donor or, you know what I mean? Which is better. So if you can use your own, you want to use your own. If you're not if that's not your option, then it's not your option.
And so
I've talked to him about City of Hope too, and just I feel like you guys are very similar. Because I can get him in at City of Hope, but he's like no.
But my thing is, I'm kind of like, my thing is, I have a thing with like, what do you call it?
He's kind of superstitious.
Yes. Okay. So I started with that doctor. I feel like I'm gonna end with that doctor. Whether I fucking live through it or I die through it, I'm gonna end with that doctor. And then when I go to my chemo sessions, I sit in the same chair every time. I have to get that same chair. I get there early just so I get the same chair because I want to sit there every single time.
Okay.
So I'm like, I gotta sit right there. You know what I mean? If somebody else has that chair, then it's like, oh, okay, fuck.
Don't throw them out of it.
I want to. Like,
get out of my chair.
But the thing is, they feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's a trip, man. Like where I go, it's a room full of people in there, and we're sitting in lounging chairs.
Yeah, the death room, I call it.
Yeah, we sit in there,
room.
and the thing is, you see motherfuckers. Like I tell her, I said, I've seen people in there, and I never saw them again. I saw a guy the other day when I was there. I had saw him like a couple months ago. He looked healthy. I saw him the other day, and he's like, his face is sucking in. His arms are real skinny.
Getting him quick.
His eyes are bulged, sucking in and shit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's getting to him. And he was there before me. I've been there over a year, so he's going through. It's fucking with him right now.
That's it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he might be at the end, toward the end of his shit. You know what I mean? And so there's gonna be one day maybe I'm gonna go there, and that's it. I won't see him no more. He's
I think
done.
the same thing.
You know what I mean? So yeah. So you see it too.
Kaiser has a basement in Fontana, and you go down in the basement, and there's all the big chairs, and they have little TV screens, and the chairs recline, and there's people in there, and you just look at them. I know when I walk in, I'm just thinking like, damn, all these people are fucked up just like me. You're there. If you're there, you're fucked up.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, cut and dry, and and like you said, you might not see the same people again.
Yeah.
And that's because maybe it got the best of them, or maybe on a positive note, they don't need it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you never know, man.
There's a young kid there. He was like 18 years old, and he would be just curled up on the lounge chair, just curled in a ball with a blanket on him, with a beanie on, and I'm like, God damn, this dude's fucking young.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I don't see him there no more.
That sucks.
So it's like I don't know what happened to him, if he didn't need it no more. But the last time I saw him, he was just curled up on the chair, and he's all fucked up. But then again, I tell her, I go in there, I see motherfuckers like in their 80s. And they're still going through the chemo shit. And I'm like, God damn, you're in your 80s. You're still doing it.
I'm thinking, how long do you want to fucking live, man?
Yeah.
That's a good run.
Yeah, then I see them hanging with that fucking red shit, the bag with the red stuff like Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that shit that they're putting inside them? One day I see some blue
You
shit.
want to know. You don't want to know.
One day I see some blue shit, and I'm like, what are they putting in these fucking people? I have like clear bags. I have like 5 clear bags.
I'm good with the clear.
Yeah, and these guys have red bags and blue bags. I'm like, God, and some burgundy bags. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
They're getting paid to take that.
Yeah.
Is that a trial right
they're
there?
taking some fucking way out shit, man. But you know, hey, that's just like, you know, I go there, I see those kind of things and shit like that, you know, and I know you see it, you go through it, and so like you said, it's like a death room. It's like the death room. You know what I mean? They're giving you all kinds of poison in your body.
But you know, when I check in at Kaiser too, you know, it's not just it's a general check-in for everybody. So I go in and they'll be like, next, and I limp over there, and you know, the lady will be like, oh hi, who are you here today for? And you know, she'll see my card, she'll type it in, and then I just see her expression change. She's like, oh, you know where it's at? You have a good day. Because it says like, oh, he's here for chemo. And she's just like, damn, dude's fucked. You know, and you know, you get that from people, and you know, even like you run into friends on the streets or whatever, you ain't seen them in a minute, they'll be like, how you doing, man? Well, you sure you want to know that?
Yeah.
No, really, how you doing? Well, I started fucking chemo today. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, nah, dog, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, it's crazy, man. It's a life changer. Cancer is definitely a life changer, and you know, sucks that me and Mike are here chilling the way we are for the reason we are, but here we are, and you know, like I said, living the best we can.
Yeah, I think I relate more to Johnny. Not that I don't relate to Tony and Cherry and all them, but I think me and him are on the same wavelength as far as how we think about things. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna live my life the way I want to live it. I'm not gonna stop doing things that I do. I've had people commenting on Instagram and Facebook and saying shit like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. One thing that if you ain't got cancer, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Quit telling me what I should eat, what I should be doing with my life. You shouldn't be telling me or anybody else with cancer what they should be doing. And people have a bad habit of giving their opinion when they ain't the ones going through the bullshit, you know what I mean? And the same thing with like my wife and his wife, and I said it in other videos before, you don't know what me and him go through, so you don't know what they go through, because you're not going through it. Yeah. Unless you're going through it, as you're a husband or a wife or somebody with cancer, you know what the fuck you're talking about. And if you're not going through cancer, then you know what the fuck you're talking about. You know what I mean? And so all this advice that people give that are not going through it, you really shouldn't give that fucking advice.
Yeah. I think, you know, most people mean well from it. You know, they don't get a grasp of, you know, what it is. And, you know, you pretty much said that. But, you know, it's kind of, you know, if I didn't ask you for it, you probably should just keep it to yourself. Yeah. I understand, you know, you're coming from a caring place and a good heart. But, you know, like Mike says, if you haven't had cancer or been through it, or your closest relative, friend, wife, husband, son, kid, daughter hasn't had it, you probably shouldn't say nothing to another patient about it. Yeah. You know, because it's a touchy subject. The only ones that do have the right is the people that have been there and done that. You know, it's like anything else. Unless you've experienced it for yourself, keep your thoughts to yourself and your opinions. You know, and I'm not being negative. And,
it's not.
You know, but
and another thing is like my wife. She doesn't. My wife doesn't tell me what I should and shouldn't do. It's like she's like, go ahead and do what you want to do.
My wife tells me, you can do whatever you want, and I'm just thinking like, fuck, how come you didn't tell me this shit like 20 years ago? That would have prevented a lot of damn fights. Because now everybody that knows me, like literally when I was leaving the Fishtail show, you know, I seen a couple of partners of mine going in. They're like, you're leaving? I'm like, yeah, my wife's out of town. They're like, what are you gonna do later? And I always tell everybody, cocaine and strippers. That's what I'm doing. And they just look at me. I'm like, no, I'm serious. Cocaine and strippers. You know, and, I mean, I just say that. That's just, I need to get a shirt made that says cocaine and strippers. That's what I'm doing. You know, I mean, that's just something I always say. And, you know, my wife even laughs when I say it. You know, it's just unfortunate that I don't have the energy for that no more. But otherwise, it would be true.
You ain't got the strippers.
You know, I mean, they'll take the money no matter where it's coming from. I'll gas out. Yeah. You know, so yeah, man. But yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah. So, well, I'm gonna wrap the video up. You know, just like I said, I want to do a video with Johnny. I've done videos with other people before, and so this is Johnny's thing. This is what Johnny's dealing with, you know, and like I said, I see more of the things the way that he sees them. We're all kind of on the same wavelength as far as things go. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we're gonna do whatever the fuck we want to do. You're not gonna, because we have cancer, you're gonna stop us from doing what we do. He does even more than I do. He's always out there fucking riding.
Right.
You see him everywhere. He's out there riding and shit. So Johnny does his thing. You know what I mean? But and he probably has it worse than me because he has it in his bones. I don't know. I have it in my system. He has it in his bones, which has got to be a fucking terrible thing. And speaking of bones, before we go, I fell down the fucking stairs today. Yeah, dude.
Like a stunt man?
Oh, dude. I at 5 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't sleep no more.
Good morning.
I got up and I said, okay, I'm gonna come. What the fuck was I doing? Oh, last night I went upstairs to turn on the shower and the fucking the plastic shower thing broke, and I was like, fuck, the fucking shower thing broke, and I was already drinking, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, I went to sleep. I went and laid down. I called my boy last night. I said, hey, he's a plumber. I said, hey, dude, I broke my fucking shower. I can't fucking shower right now. Can you come fix that shit? He's like, wait till my wife gets home. I'll be there right now. Okay, so I said, call me first. Cause I already knew I was fucked up. I said, call me first. If I'm awake, we'll fix it. We'll go to Home Depot. I passed the fuck out. I woke up this morning at 5 in the morning. I'm like, fuck. And he texted me. He had texted me. He's like, I'll be there at 8 o'clock. All right, cool. So I'm like, I'm already up. Cause I get up every day at 2:30 in the morning anyway.
I wake up 2:30 or 3.
Yeah.
Every fucking morning.
So I'm already up. Like 5 in the morning, I'm up. And so I was like, I need to take a shower. And so I was like, but I broke the fucking shower thing. It's like, oh, I'll go get ghetto with it. I'll go get some fucking channel locks. Some vice grips, and I'll turn the fucking shower on. So here I go. I'm in my underwear. No fucking shirt, just underwear. And I'm coming down the stairs, and I went to go flip the switch, and I missed it. Because I was like, oh, I missed the switch. I missed the step. Okay? And so then here I go sliding down, but this fucking leg here ends up back here, and I'm like sliding downstairs, and I'm like, oh, and I'm holding the rail, and I'm just gliding down the rail.
Slow motion for you?
Yeah, man. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, and I'm trying not to say nothing because she's asleep. I'm trying not to make no noise. I'm like sliding.
I'm like screaming like a girl.
And I'm like at the bottom of the stairs, like, oh, fuck, right? I had to let it out.
You couldn't hold it.
I couldn't hold it. I'm like, oh, fuck. And she's like, did you just fall? And I'm at the middle of the step, and I pull my leg out, and I'm like, nah, motherfucker. I'm just laying. I'm just sitting on the
yoga.
Yeah, like that. Yoga. I'm in the middle of the stairs doing yoga, contemplating my life, like
Pilates.
Yeah. And she comes to the top of the stairs, and she's like, did you fall? Like, I'm waiting for the pain to hit me because I'm like, there's no way I can bend like that. My leg was back here. I'm like, there's no way I can fucking bend that way. Yeah, I felt like origami. I was like, fuck, I was bent up like this, like, and she's like, did you fall? I said, yeah. And she's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah. I think I'm waiting for the pain. Like, yeah. She went right back to the bed, and so I'm just sitting on the step, like, yeah. I was sitting on the step, like, oh, there's no pain. And I moved my legs, like, oh, okay. So I got back. I walked down the stairs, like. I thought I fucking shattered my hip. Something, bro, like nothing. Didn't break a toe, nothing. Went down, got the biceps, and turned on the shower. But I'm like, now I'm sore. I thought I split my ass crack. I was like, man, but.
Well, at least you made it out of that. That was the last thing you needed, a damn cast.
Oh, yeah, because I went back to work like, well, about a month and a half ago. All I knew was break my fucking hip, and I got to go back to work again. Like, nah, fuck that, bro. But. Yeah, that was this morning. I fucked myself up, but I'm alright now.
A little bit more cautious this time, huh?
Yeah, I won't miss a fucking step.
Yeah.
But anyways, everybody, thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Again, this is my boy Johnny, and we're still living our lives here. Don't count us out. We're doing our thing. We still hang out. Johnny's still riding. I'm still drinking, and I don't know if he's doing cocaine or not. I'm not doing it no more, but
you never know.
You never know. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll be talking to you guys later.
See ya.